The challenge of resolving the Kashmir issue between India and Pakistan is one etched deep into the history, politics, and identities of both nations. To understand why this conflict endures and why resolution has proven to be so elusive, one must journey back to the origins of the dispute and navigate the layers of strategic, political, and emotional significance that have grown over time. The roots of the Kashmir issue stretch back to 1947, a pivotal year marking the end of British colonial rule in South Asia. British India was partitioned into two independent dominions: India, with a largely Hindu population, and Pakistan, intended as a homeland for Muslims. The newly formed nations, baptized in the fires of communal violence, inherited a complex legacy: dozens of princely states, each with the authority to join either country or remain independent. Among these states was Jammu and Kashmir, a land of mountains, rivers, and a striking cultural blend. Jammu and Kashmir's ruler, Maharaja Hari Singh, was Hindu, while his population was predominantly Muslim. Therein lay a fundamental tension. Amid pressure from both sides and escalating violence, the Maharaja sought India's military help in the face of incursions, signing an instrument of accession that made Kashmir part of India, albeit with conditions granting it special autonomy. Pakistan protested, arguing that the majority Muslim state rightfully belonged to it, and the two countries fought their first war over the territory. From the very birth of these two nations, Kashmir was both a prize and a battleground. From that moment, Kashmir became symbolic of larger national narratives and ambitions. India enshrined Kashmir's special status in Article 370 of its constitution, highlighting both its technical accession and unique identity within the Indian Union. Indian politicians and the public alike came to see Kashmir as a testament to India's secularism, a Muslim-majority region coexisting peacefully within a diverse, pluralist nation. Pakistan, for its part, cast Kashmir at the heart of its national story. A Muslim-majority land to which it felt an incomplete trust was owed by history, geography, and faith. The loss of Kashmir was seen not just as a territorial setback, but as a challenge to the very idea on which Pakistan was founded. These competing narratives were calcified by further wars, in 1965 and 99, and a succession of violent skirmishes and standoffs. Each conflict layered new resentments atop old anxieties and ensured that popular attitudes hardened. In both countries, Kashmir shaped national identity and politics, and each side saw the other's presence in the region as an existential threat. Territorial symbolism, however, is only one aspect of why Kashmir remains volatile. The region is laced with rivers fed by Himalayan glaciers, their waters governed by the Indus Waters Treaty. These rivers are lifelines for Pakistan's agriculture and economy, running from Kashmir across divided borders. Any shift in control raises fears for water security, an anxiety that only sharpens the region's strategic and military significance. The sheer scale of militarization is staggering. Both India and Pakistan maintain heavy troop deployments. The line of control, dividing Indian and Pakistani-administered Kashmir, is one of the most militarized borders in the world. Troop buildups serve as both deterrent and provocation, a perpetual reminder of the precariousness of peace. Against this tense backdrop, each government is acutely aware of the domestic ramifications of compromise. For Indian leaders, showing flexibility over Kashmir can provoke fierce nationalist backlash, painting them as weak or unpatriotic. For Pakistani politicians and generals, relinquishing claims or appearing to accept the status quo can likewise incite accusations of betrayal. Politicians on both sides have often turned to Kashmir not only as an issue of sovereignty, but as a rallying cry to consolidate support, sometimes at the expense of level-headed diplomacy. Yet, politics and narratives do not encompass the whole story. Since the late 1980s, Kashmir has been the site of a violent insurgency, one that has taken a grievous human toll. In Indian-administered Kashmir, widespread unrest and demands for autonomy or independence have fueled cycles of protest, crackdown, and militancy. India has long accused Pakistan's intelligence agencies of supporting, training, and arming militant groups operating in or across Kashmir. Pakistan, in turn, maintains that it only offers moral and diplomatic support to Kashmiri freedom fighters and highlights what it says are widespread human rights violations by Indian security forces. Terrorist attacks, such as the 2001 attack on the Indian Parliament and the 2019 suicide bombing in Pulwama, have left indelible scars on Indian public opinion. Each attack lessens hopes for dialogue, stokes demands for retribution, and heightens the sense of wounded national pride. In Pakistan, Indian accusations are met with denunciations and denials, framing the issue once more in existential language. Each side questions the other's intentions, sincerity, and even legitimacy. This pervasive lack of trust has undermined countless diplomatic efforts. Official negotiations, whether at high-level summits or back-channel Track 2 talks, have consistently run aground, often triggered by fresh violence, a breakdown in communication, or shifts in domestic politics. The pattern is both frustrating and familiar. Rare moments of optimism, such as ceasefires or tentative agreements, are followed by reversals or by events that undo months of confidence building almost overnight. The involvement of outside powers only complicates things further. The United Nations has passed resolutions, called for plebiscites, and periodically offered mediation, but these initiatives have produced little lasting change. India insists the conflict must be resolved bilaterally, without third-party intervention, a stance rooted in concerns about sovereignty and precedent. Pakistan, conversely, has often called for international attention to break perceived Indian intransigence. Major powers, for their part, have typically prioritized regional stability over justice, oscillating between calls for restraint and balancing wider strategic interests. And there is the heart of the matter. With so many layers, historical grievance, national honor, geopolitics, strategic resources, ideology, and international stakes, Kashmir resists neat solutions. The interests of three key groups, India, Pakistan, and the people of Kashmir themselves, are complex and not easily reconciled. Each party carries its own wounds, fears, and red lines. That said, impossible does not mean insurmountable. History is full of seemingly intractable conflicts finding resolution, not through grand bargains, but through incremental change. Any path to peace in Kashmir will demand political courage from Indian and Pakistani leaders, a willingness to resist the trap of nationalist rhetoric and to prioritize the future over the weight of the past. Mutual confidence-building measures, however small at first, can seed trust. Easing restrictions on travel, trade, or people-to-people contacts, re-establishing diplomatic ties after breakdowns, and maintaining communication even during tense periods. Perhaps most critically, any enduring solution must include the voices and aspirations of Kashmiris themselves, whose lives have been shaped and often upended by decisions made far from their homes. The challenge is not only deciding which nation governs territory, but how to heal the wounds of decades of conflict, restore rights and dignity, and provide justice and opportunity for future generations. Many analysts agree that peace, if it comes, will likely not arrive all at once. Instead, it will be pieced together, a gradual process of de-escalation, dialogue, modest steps forward, and a conscious effort to walk back from the brink. Economic integration and regional cooperation, especially in South Asia's globally connected era, offer thin but hopeful threads of common interest. A stable, peaceful Kashmir would benefit not just the people in the valley and those across divided borders, but the broader region and world. Yet none of this is inevitable. Progress requires what has long been lacking: sustained political will, courage to challenge the narratives of the past, resilience in the face of reversals, and above all, a recognition of shared humanity. As difficult and discouraging as the history of the Kashmir conflict is, the possibility of change endures. The frozen conflict, with all its tragedy and pain, contains within it the faint, distant hope of a better future, one where the people of Kashmir and the subcontinent can finally begin to write a new chapter. Peace, never easy, is not out of reach. But it will demand more than words and good intentions. It will require vision, empathy, and the hard work of reconciliation. Until that day comes, the Kashmir issue will remain a stark reminder of how history, politics, and identity can entwine to shape the fate of nations.